$3, but you got to get out there. But how do you know all of this stuff? It's just so many logistics and how to. And then you're talking. So we need to bring back something to help them make better decisions. Tax filing. Wow, this is just a nuisance. Anyway, I could go on forever. We've experienced all of this stuff. And then it needed to be smartphone enabled. I would see my dear wife in the office, tethered to a desk and a laptop. So a trucker was not going to. So what ended up happening is we built all of these requirements, and it applied kind of to us, but it really made sense for the drivers since they weren't going to have storage, right? They needed a way to host all their files, so if anybody know about business, you got to keep up with all your receipts, protect against audits, right? So we considered all of that, and we came up with a document processing methodology called Developmental Understanding of Known Examples. That's why we call it DUKE.AI. So that's the methodology that I came up with, and it's all about empowering owner-operators with financial and business insights to simplify their business. So what we're talking about now is something as simple as taking a picture, sending an email of a settlement, and then we have a computer network that's in the cloud that takes that information, extracts it, and puts it into a financial accounting software. And then from that, with a collection of all the data mining, truckers now get a report, and they can actually see. They don't guess. Like right now, I go on Facebook, on social media, and all of us truck drivers, fleet owners, we say, hey, which carrier is paying the most? And everybody jumps over there, and all of a sudden that carrier stops paying the most, and then you jump in. And every time you move, it takes about a month to recover and get a steady stream of income. So again, that puts you out of business. So you really need to know really who is the ideal company that you can work for, that you can lease onto, right? And so, you know, AI is the way that we've gone about approaching this. And when you think about AI, it's all about getting data, interpreting the data, and then doing some action. So if a human was going to do this, what would they need to do? And one thing I haven't mentioned is the maintenance, right? There's an element of maintenance that could be automated as well. Like if I know I have a certain number of miles, I've got 10 trucks, it's impossible for me to keep up with that. But if I know that I can predict when a certain incident is going to come or is going to happen, not just based on the manufacturer specs, because we all know how that works. There's a disparity between when something should fail and when it actually does. And when, by having a composite of the maintenance logs and so forth, we would be able to, you know, by these drivers putting in, hey, my transmission failed on the Cascadia freight liner at 400,000 miles, and we've seen like 100 of those. Now we can do a statistical model to inform that driver, doing predictive analysis that, hey, although the manufacturer spec says it should be, you know, 50, it may fail. So you need to factor that into your P&L this year, not hope and pray that it goes out next year. And then you can model that out and be a little bit more predictive on how you manage your trucking business. So if a human was doing this, they'd have to learn all the manufacturing specs, accounting formulas. They'd have to learn a vast amount of software. But what we're training, and we're in the process of doing this, is to train Duke to look at web searches, look at specifications, extract that data, do text recognition, and then do record keeping. And so we're using a vast amount of networks like YOLO, ImageNet, for example, to help us do the extraction. So YOLO is a feature extraction used for video. So you know, when we were in automotive, right, we had to determine if it was a car, if it was a tie, if it was a person. In fact, I think we have a video that's kind of showing some of the operations of a feature extractor. And now this is video, but we can apply this to text, static text. This is a video frame probably going at about 30 frames per second. Been able to capture the details, cell phone, chair. And it's even able to do it even in occlusions, right? There are occlusions present where the chair is not fully shown, but it's able to classify. So these are some examples of what we're doing now. Our problem is not as challenging as moving, but our challenge is Yeah, our challenge is the vast amount of data in the data formats. You know, there's like thousands of receipts, there's thousands of settlements, thousands of maintenance. So ours is, so we have, but we've got to go through there and classify, is this a fuel charge? Is this a tire repair? Is it a transmission? And so forth. All right, so we didn't do this on purpose, but as we were going through the design, I realized that what we were implementing was something that modeled the human nervous system. So we actually have receptors. So those are receptors of how we get data. This is, in any AI, you've got to figure out a way to get data from your user. Right? You can knock on the door, hey, can I have your data? But you have to have a way. So we ended up having to build a whole plumbing to do that. And that was initially a web interface. It wasn't an app. Today it's an app. But before it was just a web interface to allow us to do this. And then we needed transmitters, because it wasn't enough about getting data in. We needed to be able to take that data and provide something meaningful to the driver, right? So we had these, what I call the transmitters. And so once this information gets in, we have a cloud, right? So that was another element. We had to master and understand all of the functionality, the features that are provided in the cloud. So everything under this cloud is part of Duke. So we actually do use mechanical Turks. Everybody know what mechanical Turks are, right? Yeah, so these are humans to do tasks that the computer is not quite suited for, but we've got to then train the computer. So we actually get this data, and we go through convolutionary neural networks and help, kind of like, what is it called? The brain connections, and so to help make decisions. And so during that offline training, we actually now help the Duke to be able to do classification. So now as data comes in through a receptor, the classifier says, do I know what this is? Kind of like what we saw in the video. And if it knows what it is, it can easily send that down and classify, or excuse me, extract that and put it into a knowledge base. So that could be a QuickBooks record, that could be a financial record, that could be a maintenance log, and so forth. And then the knowledge base is used to help us do alerts and give the driver feedback that goes back through a transmitter. So this is kind of like a basic architecture of what we're doing at Duke. And so we're very excited about what we're doing, right? Because we believe that we're going to put the power back into the truck driver now, right? That truck driver no longer is going to be guessing. He's going to know exactly what his P&L is. Last year, like right now, my wife is, because we didn't have Duke fully last year, we started using it at the end of the year last year. So she is actually now, hopefully is the last time we actually have to compile all of our data and try to get it correctly. And from here on out, the only thing she'll be using is Duke to capture. So it's actually, I believe, saved her time from like 5 to 10 hours a week to now just a few minutes a week, maybe an hour, because the only thing she's doing is sending an email or taking a picture. Right. So this is our team. All right. So we have our interns here, Craig and Ashley. They're here. We consist of about 11 software developers. We have industry, like I said, in freight, SaaS, cloud computing. But my team, when they came, they had no clue about driving, trucking, right? But they've embraced this challenge of providing owner-operators. I told Craig about a problem, and he immediately started typing in information to learn, and he looked up a load board, and I was like, yeah, he embraced it, because we can see, you know, the trucking business industry is a $1 trillion, it's edging towards a $1 trillion industry. And we always think about semiconductors, software, whatever, we just overlook all the money that's in it, and it's growing, right? Amazon freight, right? You know, last mile, door delivery, all of that stuff. So there's going to be tremendous opportunity, and what we want to provide is this service to help them. So again, like we said, Duke, if you can capture images, send emails from your smartphone, that's all the training you need to do bookkeeping and accounting.